Hello and welcome to the Digital Transformation Online Summit. My name is Gianni Quintana, and I'm going to be discussing conversational marketing, chatbots, AI technologies, and how you can utilize those to help your business and clients' businesses capture better engagement, get more conversions for your sales teams. All right, so without further ado, let's start this presentation. How can we remove friction from the buying process? And yes, even amid the crazy COVID-19 times we're all living. So first, I gotta talk about the pink elephant in the room, right? So we know that we're living this pandemic. And so, yes, let's all support social distancing so we can get the curve down, flatten the curve, and get back to some form of normality. And let's say yes to social distance learning and sharing knowledge. Now, a little thing about this picture. These are my two young boys, Ethan, 3 years old, and Nico, 6 years old. He's on the right. And they love to get on their police SWAT car and kind of patrol the neighborhood to make sure everyone is practicing safe social distancing. Listen, all kidding aside, I know how important that this conference is to many of us who are looking to strive and not just survive COVID-19, whether it's for ourselves, but also for our partners and our clients alike. So, without further ado, let me get into the presentation. Conversational marketing, what is it and why is it important? So conversational marketing is a new category, maybe 3 years young, that DRIFT has created. I'm a DRIFT certified partner and probably have been for 3 years. And it's really a paradigm shift that focuses on helping, not selling, right? Our focus is more on the buying, which is now really not even thought about as buying, but actually helping and not selling. So by the way, don't worry about any notes because I'll be sharing the slides at the end as well as an e-guide that'll give you a little more insights into this presentation. So we know that right now, because of what we're going through with COVID-19, we're likely going to be communicating during and post COVID-19 in a work from home type environment. And that's going to look kind of like this picture, right? With kids in the background, two parents working, and we're all trying to build trust with our potential customers, clients, and partners. And it might look almost informal, and we're always going to be on. So when you think about the expectations that customers have had for the last 10, 15 years, and more so, let's say the last decade, think about the Apple Store. People want to have conversation-based instant responses. And that is true. That same expectation, customer expectation that we have as B2C customers, is the same that B2B customers have. So why would we want to treat them differently? For many of us, if we have business to business as our core potential customers, we know that this process that we've had in B2B can take weeks, endless emails, and has caused buyers a lot of friction and frustration around how to get to a demo call, how to get more information from a potential company. And this is a process that typically we have as best practices in B2B. And I would argue that it's outdated and it's really has lost its way because it's not kept up with a customer expectation. So when we think about conversational marketing and chatbots in particular, we also may go right into thinking about LiveChat, which we all know, if we've been around since the 80s and even 90s, has been around since the 80s and the 90s. But it's been more of a conversation that's transactional versus conversational when you think about LiveChat, OLARC, and the likes, right? So when you think about LiveChat, you think call centers circa 1990s, scripted poorly responses that are outsourced overseas to third parties. And there's usually poor quality interactions, unfortunately, because they're lacking the in-house expertise. And there's lack of skin in the game as well for these third-party outsourced live chats. So when you think about that and you move it into this evolution of live chat during full-blown COVID-19 times, you're going to have those same issues that I'm describing on the section before on this evolution graphic, but it's going to be a little bit worse, I would think, because right now you have no call center manager. Most call centers are just not working. They're doing it remote, right? On premise to do quality assurance, which is a big challenge for a lot of these live chat sort of services. And also these scripted options, if they're not fine-tuned or changed often, they really don't resonate with that potential customer on your website. And there's less supervision at these live chat centers these days because there's just no live chat centers actually operating. It's all being done remote, which kind of complicates matters. Now, when you fast forward to, circa 2015, when AI chatbots started really taking shape, whether they were through HubSpot's chatbots or Drift, who just very got niched down and specifically around chatbots, this thing has changed. Now that we're living in this work from home environment, I think it's super important to think on how you can leverage conversational marketing and chatbots into the mix. They're literally made, the technology is made for having your SDRs, sales, development reps, BDRs, business development reps, inside sales, and now outside sales who have had to turn into inside sales, all work and leverage conversational marketing, chatbots, and all the technologies around that to have real-time engagement now, to reduce website bounce rates, accelerate pipeline, or basically lead to close velocity. And the important aspect of conversational marketing is that it's a collaborative, co-written effort on the part of folks that have skin in the game. So I work with clients and their marketing and sales teams who obviously have a reason to want to make sure that this type of strategy works, so they can get more pipeline, they can get more sales and more revenue, right? So there's a win-win because it's co-managed by marketing and sales, and it integrates to most CRMs, in a way to make your buyer pipeline efficiencies and velocity just that much more efficient. Okay. So when you think about conversational marketing, you have to think of a framework. And this framework really is what's made it a category leader and disruptive. And it's really helping B2B businesses over the last 3 years, of not maybe approaching 4, really become more honed in on how they can leverage conversational marketing to disrupt their competitors, right? And the reason it's disruptive, I would say, is because it follows these frameworks, these questions: the what, the who, the where, why, and when, right? So when you think about it, we're always thinking and creating content to drive people where? To our website, right? So by having these conversational chatbots there living, and the playbooks that we built out, co-written, co-developed with your marketing team, with your inside sales team, with your operations team, we're able to understand what pages are critical where we need to have these bots, whether, it's a high intent page like your pricing page, or your resource page like your blog content page. What is it they're trying to strive to do? Who are engaging in this? Is it anonymous? Is it a person who returned after a couple of visits? Is it a targeted account, the top 100, 250 accounts that your corporate team has? Who are those people? Do we have like ideal personal profiles, buyer personas? And how can we get an engagement level with them, right? So that's where the where comes. Are they coming in from direct, sales approaches, ads, our ad spend, our nurture campaigns, organic, webinar events, blogs, etc. So we really try to cover in this framework all these questions that you see here, so that you can build out the right type of communication when they're on your website at the moment of engagement. At the end of the day, the customer right now has all the power. We're in a supply side economy, and there's an oversupply. So they really do have the power, and you have to be able to follow this framework if you're trying to launch conversational marketing in the right way. Now, all your buyers want to connect with you in real time when intent is highest, right? And so when you think about live chat, they were trying to solve for this by being able to offer a live chat person to engage with that prospect's questions and answers. But unfortunately, live chat, even though the response time and time could be almost instant or just as good as conversational marketing chatbots, it still has some deficiencies, and I'll go through this. First of all, the limitations of live chat, right? So we don't get the two confused. You can't compare apples to oranges. Limited to working hours only. Call centers, unless you pay a premium, which it might not even be warranted, or you're going to get 24-hour live chat support, right? And you're unable to separate sales and support, because typically that person that's outsourced is not a support expert or a sales expert. They're really just following a script and are just kind of give you a lead report afterwards, right? There's a high volume but low quality in terms of chats typically. And there's no strategic visitor information. They don't know if the visitor came in from one of your targeted top 50 accounts or not. So how do they know if they're going to roll out a VIP kind of a personalization to that prospect that visits your site? There's usually a lack of automation because they don't have any kind of integrations with marketing tech stack. And that's very important, as you know, for B2B to accelerate velocity and to be able to have a window and insight into who is visiting and what channels they came from and so forth. That's through marketing tech stacks, which LiveChat typically doesn't integrate that well with. So why is all this important? I think this is all important because we all know, and we have been living the last 10 years of customer experience being really the net new king. When there's an endless supply of options, customers have all the power. And point in case, when you think about the Airbnbs of the world, right? Airbnb didn't kill the hotel industry. They did it to themselves by limiting the availability and pricing options. Uber didn't kill the taxis. They did it to themselves by limiting the number of taxis and price controls. Apple didn't kill the music industry. They did it to themselves by forcing people to buy full albums when all one wanted to do was, get that one hot track on XYZ record, right? Or XYZ CD. Amazon, same thing. They didn't kill other retailers. They did it to themselves with bad customer service, right? While Amazon tripled down on the best experience, their UI experience, their customer service experience, so that you find yourself gravitated to use Amazon.com for anything related to shopping, books, audible music, etc. Netflix didn't kill Blockbuster. They did it to themselves because of the ridiculous late fees. And they just got late to the game, right? Netflix was a disruptor. They created a category. So all these businesses kill themselves by not understanding their customers' needs. And this is important because when you think about the driving forces of future customer experience, according to Forrester, reports and insights, 90% of customer service leaders agree personalization is core to the future of automation. Implementing existing chat technologies is increasingly becoming a solution of choice. And why is this? It's this because 63% of customers say they will leave a company after just one poor experience, and almost 2/3 of them will no longer wait more than 2 minutes for assistance. We live in a I want it now, when I want it, how I want it, because I have choices type of customer-centric world. So we have to meet the expectations, and actually I would say exceed them. If you're meeting them, you're just doing status quo. So what does this mean in terms of the live chat to conversational marketing AI revolution, chatbot revolution? When you think about live chat, and I'm on it for a little bit longer on these slides because I want to make sure that we're looking at apples and not oranges. You think about old live chat business as usual was a call center, live chat operators, third party, were answering calls, trying to the best of the ability, follow the script and answer. During full-blown COVID-19, which is what we're experiencing now and have been for the last maybe few weeks, it's going to be call centers that are pretty abandoned and everyone's doing call center type work that's overstressed, overtaxed, and under less supervision because people in these call center environments are working from home. Not a good recipe for the kind of experience you want to give potential customers or current customers, right? Now, you remove that friction if you get AI chatbots that still have that live conversational marketing type of feel, but it's going to be done on your website internally to your sales development reps, business development reps, and it just feels more authentic. It's more in tune to whatever your business goals are and what your business solutions are for that customer or prospective customer. So again, conversational marketing. What does it do? It enables companies to shorten their sales cycle, understand their customers, and create a more human buying experience. Here's a graph that explains a little bit of how DRIFT, which I'm a certified partner in our agency is, combines targeted real-time messaging and intelligence to optimize conversions, right? So we're all writing white papers, we're all doing webinars, we're all trying to figure a way that they can contact us. With chatbots plus live chat, you're able to get this done in real time, 24/7, 365, and your speed to lead and your speed velocity of converting, someone who's a prospect that's interested in the pipeline to someone who's on a meeting, to someone who's now closed or getting closer to a closed one. That's really, the acceleration factor that you can do with live chatbot plus live chat on your website. Again, there's benefits, and I'm going to describe briefly the 4 key benefits of conversational marketing. First, you're going to instantly respond 24/7, 365. So while you're sleeping or while I'm sleeping, I'll get inquiries that come in from my turned on, non-working hours chatbot. People leave their message, their email, and I can get back to them and understand what their needs might be, right? you're going to convert more leads. The reason for that is because your chatbot allows you to, once you put your custom messaging and what you're trying to get out of the conversation, an ability for your prospective customer to dig deeper in what they want out of the conversation, and then right away get into a 3, book more qualified meetings, because you're giving them a calendar right there for them to pick a date, a time to connect with you for next steps, right? And you're also providing the one that I really think is really critical for B2Bs that are in high volume sales and long-term sales, is have this white glove strategic accounts approach. So account-based marketing. You're able to, with conversational marketing, there's platform, we're able to help you identify your top accounts and provide like this VIP rolled out kind of treatment and personalization. When you've got, let's say, Nestle is one of your accounts, Nestle hits your website, and you're going to be able to give Nestle and that person in Nestle a different type of experience when they land on your website through the chatbot interactions. Here's a little bit of an experience that my clients, Happy or Not, Practice Panther, and Raw Content have had using the implementation of chatbots and conversational marketing into their sales and marketing mix. Happy or Not, they're a CX, customer experience global leader. They provide these terminals, which have happy faces from green to red, at airports as well as in retail environments, public sector, and so forth, and also stadiums. So here, when we approached and worked with them in the consulting engagement to get this done, we noticed that they had a really high bounce rate of 80%. They had a lot of eyeballs on their website, which was great, about 100,000 unique visitors per month, but they were getting a tremendous amount of bounce rate because there was nothing engaging on the website. So outside of content that we helped them produce that were tailored to specific industries, we also implemented this chatbot so that folks can have better conversations and be more engaged and know whether it's for support, whether it's for sales, or whether it was industry specific, that potential online visitor or prospect was wanting to know more about with Happy or Not. They reduced their bounce rate by 44% and now are engaging with under 60 seconds. And so that speed to lead is critical. Same thing with Practice Panther, which is a legal software company, and Raw Content, which is a interactive content software company. By the way, B2B SaaS is only one vertical that we help, but we could help those that are in healthcare. We could help those that are in public sector. There's more industries than just SaaS companies that can leverage conversational marketing. So why does response time matter in B2B? Well, it's critical because according to a Harvard Business Review study, 90% of businesses that don't reply in less than 5 minutes lose that business forever. And that's pretty a hard pill to swallow when you think about all the money that you invest in marketing and sales to drive people to your website, to have a nice experience and to engage with you. And if you don't respond with them in 5 minutes, you lose them. So all that effort, time, energy, brain share, and money can be thrown out the window, right? So it's critical that you have a response time that's less than 5 minutes. And Drift and conversational marketing chatbots that we help implement can help you with that. One way of doing that, it's because we're creating second nets. Right. So we're not saying or suggesting that you need to get rid of all your forms. We understand that sometimes your lead attribution, many good leads come from your forms that you have in your pricing page, your forms you have in your services page, and so forth. Having said that, we also know that by having second nets, you're able to catch those folks that don't want to fill out a form. They want to go directly to having a conversation with you and giving them that option. So second nets are important. And I'm going to talk about 11 type of conversational marketing examples, bots that serve different customer interactions. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'm going to pick 3. Number 1, number 3, and number 8, because I think they're important. And number 11, I'm sorry. So if we look at number 1, the second net, what is it? I kind of described it a little bit earlier, but basically it's the easiest place to start. You can tip your toe in conversational marketing, if you will. You're going to not necessarily replace all the forms, but you're going to give them a second option where they can request a demo, contact you, ask about something of your service, right there. And unlike the form, the second net can be proactive. Just go get people to start having a conversation with you. They can skip the line, if you will. Here's an example. Wistia does this very well. They have their form, but as you can tell, they also have a way that you can use the chatbot to start engaging. I want to talk to sales right away. Which platform do you use? They say other. Okay, great. How many employees do you have? You're leading them down questions that you want answered before setting them into a sales invite meeting. They put their address and boom, now you have a meeting that your team can actually have with that prospect, right? So that's one example. Here's one that I have on my own page, conversational marketing around your pricing page. Your pricing page is probably the highest intent page you have on your website. And if it isn't, you should make it your highest intent page. And to do this, you want to be able to have a chatbot that's one, going to resonate with those people visiting. So for mine, for example, I go, hey there, we feel ya, COVID-19 times, let's invest in your future. Can I ask you a question? Because more than likely they're thinking about me and probably 2 or 3 other digital consultancy agencies or conversational marketing agencies, and they want to engage with a little more conversation around pricing. So I give them options. Oh, I'm just checking things out. I'm already one of your clients, or yes, please, I'd like to speak to someone now. And as you're pushing them through that, you're able to get exactly what kind of questions they might have around pricing. So you can be very specific in terms of whatever their intent is and what your answers are about pricing over chat. And it's not easy to explain that over chat. So likely you're going to get to putting them on a call, on a meeting right away, right? And which is the end game and the goal. A lead magnet. So we all work really hard to develop a lot of content, e-guides, video blogs, podcasts, what have you. And when we do this, our intent is that we want to give something to get something, usually their email, their phone number, so that they can get to the piece of content. These are lead magnet pages. With conversational marketing, the cool thing is that you can actually create it all living in one place. You can provide them non-gated, which I would highly encourage you try and test. Give non-gated valuable content. This is a 26-page e-guide on inbound marketing and the best practices, the 5 pillars around it to grow your business 3x. And so they can go through it, read it on their own without having to give me anything. But if they want to, right here, my chatbot is already asking them, hey, let's get in touch. Leave me your email and we can set up a meeting, and it goes right into an actual, the request for an appointment in a meeting on the chatbot. So your lead magnets can now, you're giving them content now. They don't have to wait to get an email. You can get really super creative here and put a video if you want. You can just have them download it like I did on mine right there and then, or you can tease them with a first chapter and then offer after they give you their email to give them the rest, to unlock it, if you will. But I personally try not to have them go through hoops and just give them the content that they find value. They're going to email you and look to get an appointment with you and have a conversation with you, which is what you ultimately want. Okay. Another tip that I think, and another strategy that is really powerful these days more than ever, is video. So leveraging LinkedIn, connecting with prospects via LinkedIn, then sending them a drift video, right off from LinkedIn, by the way, which I can show. This is what I did. This is the back of my drift where you can see all the 8 pages of basically videos that I've done, short videos. I have an example of a potential client, which is going to be a client out of South America. They're a chocolatier called Pacari Chocolate. Had a few videos sent to him. Last one, Santiago saw, he saw it for 77% of it, which is good. And from that, I was able to get on a, literally while he's watching the video, on a quick chat and secure a Zoom meeting for later. So here's a way to humanize with direct, authentic videos, showing them that you actually understand a little bit about their business and want to set up a time to see how you can help. And here's how mine looked. You won't be able to hear it, but that's not a problem. I just want you to see. This was done literally right from my LinkedIn, clicking on my Drift tool that allows me to do these videos and send them right away via LinkedIn to that prospect. So here I'm showing like that I care, that I've actually done some homework and research, that I want to see how we can help each other and if there's some synergies, right? So again, you want to humanize with direct, authentic videos and follow up. Once you see that they land on that video and that landing page, you can do a follow up and say, I noticed you saw 77%. Was there more information you wanted, or how can we set up a discovery call? That sort of thing. Okay. So in conclusion, I think that conversational marketing is really the best way to remove that friction in the buying process and showing your more human side of the sales and marketing experience. We're trying to change how B2B is into a B2H. So instead of business to business, let's think business to human experience. It's all about that human experience, right? You're able to leverage chatbots and the AI technology playbooks to increase engagement on your website. You're able to champion authentic real-time two-way communication with buyers and your teams internally, whether they're your sales team, support team, operations team. And you're able to build that trust and secure next steps, which is really meetings to close business faster and at scale. It's all about velocity and speed to lead. And you're able to utilize proven partners such as digitechie.com that understand conversational marketing implementations and can help you avoid the pitfalls of doing it yourself, right? We're here to help. And if your business is interested, leaving my contact information at the end. Plus, I'll be sending out a PDF e-guide around conversational marketing to all those that attended my session post-event. Again, I hope, and my deepest wish for everybody that was on this event and this particular presentation is that we can strive for a positive future. Amid all the craziness and the uncertainty, I do believe that we're going to come out better together. And it sounds cliche, but I think we will. Come out of this better than we are right now. So let's connect more from B2B status quo to a more new B2H or business to human experience. Have a great rest of the week. Enjoy the rest of the conference and stay healthy and safe. My information here and contact, if you want to reach me, so we can help you remove the friction from the buying process, is my email, gquintana@digitechie.com, as well as my website, digitechie.com, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn or follow me on those other channels, Digitechie1 at Twitter or my Facebook, Digitechie Business Group. Enjoy the rest of the conference. Be safe, stay healthy, and I hope nothing but the best for you and your communities.